Hey everyone, it's the Doom Dog. So, when Ozzy died, I wanted to make a video kind of like this, but I never got around to it, and I always kind of regretted it, so I'm not going to not do it this time. Ace Frehley of Kiss passed away recently, and I am a pretty big Kiss fan. I grew up in a Christian household when I was young. You know, all the music I listened to is the stuff my parents listened to. Any CDs that I got were, birthday, Christmas, or whatever, presents. They were all Christian, DC Talk, Audio Adrenaline, Petra, stuff like that, Brian Duncan, whatever. One of the very first albums that I ever bought when I started branching out on my own was Alive by Kiss. Bought that with my own money. It's back in the 90s. I bought it at a store called Gibson's in Frederick, Oklahoma. It's a little store. Think of a store that's like Walmart with the grocery side of it as well. It's basically that, but smaller. And they had a copy of Alive by Kiss, and I bought that, and I listened to it. And it kind of blew me away with how good a concert album could be, Of course, I was still new to the concept of a live album, but it's still a really, really good one, and it remains one of my favorites to this day, and it is a large part of the reason why I fell in love with riffs in the first place. Alive by Kiss is fucking awesome. And of course, I would get other albums by Kiss after that. I got their MTV Unplugged album, which is very good and a fun show. And it was what got the band to reunite with Ace Frehley and all four of the original members for the final, I think, 4 tracks of that, which ultimately led to them touring together and writing and recording a new album together, that ultimately being Psycho Circus, which was a concept album and a big media project because it also had a comic book series based on it, as well as a video game that came to PC and Dreamcast, where you could play as the various members of the band. It's pretty cool, actually. But, I got Destroyer, of course. I got Alive, too. Kiss Live was something truly special. I think it was Geddy Lee of Rush who said, think of their music what you will, but nobody tries harder to give you your money's worth at a concert than Kiss. And there's a lot of truth to that. They were performers, that they would, in interviews or whatever, I think it was Paul Stanley who said, I'm not a musician, I'm an entertainer. And while, yes, he is a musician, they're all musicians, there's also a lot of truth to that, They really were. And Ace himself wasn't the flashiest or most technically impressive guitarist of all time. But what he did play for his solos and stuff always fit the song well. It was always well structured. It always sounded clean. It was always good. It was consistently good. That's the thing about Kiss's music, is it's all simple. It is easy to get into. You know what I mean? It is very easy to get into because it's very simple and easy to understand, easy to get the appeal of. And that results in a lot of people, your dad listened to Kiss, so you listen to it, and it's easy for you to get into when you're young. So I think a lot of people had the experience of, I got into them when I was really young, and they opened my eyes to what hard rock and heavy metal could be. And they were one of my first favorite bands, that kind of thing. I think that's the story for a lot of people. And it certainly is, for me, they were one of my favorite bands when I was younger. And they're the kind of band that you never go back to and think, oh, why did I ever like this? Because their music is just a joy to listen to, man. It's just fun. You know, Detroit Rock City and Cold Gin and She and Parasite. Just so many killer songs they put out that shock me. So I'm sure Ace has gone back to Jindal, if you don't know what I mean by that. The various members of Kiss did have lore for the band, and Ace was an alien from a planet called Jindal who came to Earth to rock, essentially. I'm sure he's up there somewhere right now, rocking out with Ozzy and Lemmy. Rest easy, Spaceman, and thanks for the music and the memories.